if you have the right mindset, the tools can actually help you learn. If you have a different mindset, the tools can be a substitute for learning.
At some point, the outcomes from the models are just going to completely collapse and they're going to be actually wrong.
The benefit of AI is to more quickly dispatch with the low value work so I can spend more time thinking, more time learning. This topic really did get me thinking. Now, stepping back off the soapbox about, what's the impact on the whole body of human knowledge and on our ability to think? And we've talked about this before. So
No, yeah, no, we most definitely have, and there are certainly, I think, broader implications on this, and it warrants, deeper discussion and certainly an awareness that it's potential for happening, certainly in any kind of organization. Um, you and I have been through, and I think we're still learning the impact of the artificial intelligence just on human nature in general, how organizations are going to adjust and work, how it's going to affect their operations and their people and everything else. And we're only at the very beginning of the long cycle. Like
oh
we're
yeah,
still seeing impacts of cell phones on people, and the cell phones have been around for decades. And the
that
same for the internet.
yeah.
It just takes a long time for some of these things to work through. Um,
That's actually a great point. I mean, this year in New York State for this school year that started this week is the first time that the governor has ordered I think they're calling it the bell-to-bell cell phone ban, which is saying that classrooms across the state are, you know, supposed to be forbidding students having their cell phones out. And, you know, smartphones have been around since I think 2007 was the launch of the first iPhone. So we've been,
yeah.
we're getting close to 20 years, like 18 years of iPhones, and we still don't fully understand the impact that they have on people. So it's going to be a long time before anyone has a definitive answer on AI. But before I ask you if you agree with the article, sum up for us the premise. Like, what is the argument that they're making, or the questions they're raising in the article?
Well, the questions are, well, they're raising a bunch of questions. I think the main question is, it just can sum it up quite succinctly, is, are we really getting lazy? Are we not creating knowledge anymore because we're relying on these extremely powerful tools to answer questions for us? Whereas in the past, we would have done a lot of research, and the internet made, doing research a lot easier. You can look at, tons of links and sites and sources very quickly. Now it's summarizing all that for us and giving us the answer. So we're never really generating our own knowledge anymore. We're just kind of relying on an LM to summarize it and tell us the output. And
Yeah.
LLMs don't necessarily create new knowledge. There is some of the knowledge that they were trained with.
So I think that's a really interesting point, that LLMs, as you just said, they're synthesizing and aggregating existing knowledge. And I think the premise is that humans, when they're doing research, we have an incentive to do something different. We historically, at least, we value ingenuity and novel ideas, right? So
Hmm.
humans are like,
Right.
there's always going to be places where humans just do research, and fair enough. And I guess you could argue that doing straight research isn't adding to the body of human knowledge. But have been a lot of situations in which a researcher is just looking for that, I don't know, that out there idea, that different idea. You hear all the time of people trying to solve these unsolvable problems or pondering the imponderables, and I guess sometimes that's the spark of human creativity, that we're like struggling to make sense of something, and we're trying to piece together these unlikely connections that have never been made before between different ideas or different topics. Is that sort of the thing that we're talking about here?
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's 100% what we're talking about. But I want to be careful too, because you and I have also taken the view that these tools can be used to enhance creativity. So I think you have to be aware, I think, of the full spectrum of the ways to use the tools and how you use them, and you have to be cognizant of how you use them. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy this podcast, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to us over on YouTube. And make sure to stay up to date with us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify as well.